Welcome to a special episode covering the 18th Arab Investment and Businessmen Conference. We have leading influential speakers here from all over the world. With us here, we have Professor Khalid Hanafi. He's the Secretary General of the Union of Arab Chambers, one of the organizers of this conference. We can highlight now to the audience, what are the objectives of this conference?
Actually, this conference is actually one of the main conferences of the Union of Arab Chambers. This edition is the 18th edition, and it happens every other year. So we've been with this conference over 36 years. The main objective of the conference, generally speaking, is to gather the investors, the Arab investors, and the business people in the Arab world. But for this specific round, the 18th round here in Bahrain, we added the entrepreneurial issues and the fourth industrial revolution to the conference to have a different flavor. This flavor is to utilize the power of the entrepreneurs, the youth in the Arab countries, and to be mingled with the fourth industrial revolution.
Why do you think this is important for entrepreneurs to meet and exchange ideas?
They are going to compete in a rally, and we have here in this round a rally for entrepreneurs. We have more than 740 teams coming from all Arab countries, 22 countries. They are competing here. Each team consists of 4 or 5 youth, and they work under an umbrella of a university, one of the universities in the Arab countries. So here we have the youth in one hand, we have the science, the universities on the other hand, and the third party is the business people. So we engage those 3 parties in the same conference. And we have of course, the United Nations presented by the UNIDO here in Bahrain, to also help those teams to have their projects in a business form. So the education part is very important. So those entrepreneurs, they don't have just some dreams, but their dreams get rationalized and get organized in a scientific way. So they produce something scientifically accepted by universities, and then business-wise, it is bankable and business project with the feasibility studies and so on. Also, we engage the investors, the big investors here, to attend the competition and to see the projects that provided by those entrepreneurs. So maybe some of those investors will be an angel investor and will share those youth their ideas and projects.
Okay, if we focus on the fourth industrial revolution, the topic of this conference, what are the opportunities and what are the challenges?
There are great opportunities, because when you look at the Arab world, you're going to recognize that the majority of the people of these countries are youth. I mean here, when we consider people born after 1995, which is the birthday of the internet and the mobile, those people are very well qualified to the fourth industrial revolution elements. And when we know that these countries are youth countries with this generation, so this is one of the potentials for these countries, that the human resources here are ready for this. If we equip this with the education and with the knowledge and the exposure to the rest of the world, this will help a lot. So this is an opportunity. Also, some of the Arab countries, they have some technological readiness, a high level of technological readiness, whether in terms of infrastructure or communication or whatever. So this will help also a lot. Number 3, when we consider some challenges in these countries, and the challenges here in some of the countries, the Arab countries, are very classical and traditional challenges. And many of the countries, they were not able to face these challenges with the traditional ways. So the solution for these challenges come from the innovation, from the fourth industrial revolution, specifically the artificial intelligence or the Internet of Things.
So can we say that the fourth industrial revolution is now inevitable? This is the right time for it?
It's not a choice. Actually, if we talk about the present, even not the future, so we're talking about the fourth industrial revolution. even the near future will be the fifth industrial revolution that people started to talk about right now. And if we're not going to cope with the fourth industrial revolution, the whole economy will be obsolete. And all over the history, when an industrial revolution happens, the rank of the economies get mixed. Some economies will lead, other economies will actually be backward. So the fourth industrial revolution is the same. So if the Arab economies are not able to understand and digest the challenges of the fourth industrial revolution and decide not to ask what or whether we need to go or not, but to ask how to be a leader in the fourth industrial revolution, I believe that this will make it not very good.
So how do you think they can adapt?
They can adapt by two main things, I believe. Number one is education, is the knowledge. So gaining the knowledge is something very important. So in the investment in the human resources, the knowledge of the human resources is really important. Number two is the entrepreneurial spirit. So if we're not going to encourage people to sort out what they have, especially the youth, if we're not going to be able to make them dream and have visions, and being able to rationalize this vision in a professional way, so we won't be able to do anything. So opening this for the youth, making them dream, making them put their dreams on a very practical way is the most important thing. And I believe that the entrepreneurial spirit or entrepreneur is the most important factor of production. Classically, we were talking about land, labor, and capital, but the entrepreneurial spirit is the most important factor of production. So the leading economies, the leading countries are the countries that are able to invest in entrepreneurial spirit. We have many countries that they don't have any resources, but they have entrepreneurs. So encouraging those people is the most important thing, and that's what we're doing here in this type of conferences, and that's what we're doing as private sector, as Arab private sector.
We always hear this phrase, transformation to digital economy. When do you think we can have a 100% transformation in the Arab world?
Nobody will have 100% transformation, because while you are transforming, things are changing. So the idea is that you're in like a marathon. You're not just having a race for 100 meters or so and you reach the end. You have to keep doing all the time. So the sustainability is the name of the game over here. So we have to keep exerting effort and doing what we can do. So we'll never reach 100%. But if we're not going to move rapidly, we'll be very backwards.
In the first session, they were talking about intelligent world. How do you see the intelligent world, and how do you think we can get there?
Actually, when it comes to the artificial intelligence specifically, it's very important. And we started, even some of the teams that are competing over here, they started to present the artificial intelligence, and they use the artificial intelligence. The idea is how to innovate. Innovation here means that you will be able to understand and digest what exists in the world and being able to adapt this to your economy and your society. We are ready in many countries, in many of the Arab countries, to do so. We have to believe in youth. We have to believe in their ability to do so. What we need to do is to open the door, is to help, is to give the support, and to make those business people, the giant business people, to get mingled with the young entrepreneurs, and by doing so everybody will benefit.
What impressed you the most at this conference?
The young people, their passion, their challenge, their projects, great projects. I'm talking about 740 teams coming from all the 22 Arab countries. This surprised me a lot. And when we started to talk and discuss with those young people, they were very impressive. They have amazing ideas, and what they have is really, really amazing. So that's what impressed me. And also they put their projects in a bankable, in a business package. So that's very interesting. And this based on what we provided them with training and with the help of the UNIDO, with the help of the universities, with the help of the Arab Academy over here that supported this a lot. So all these things showed that if we do so, we can reach things. So nothing is impossible for the young people here in the Arab countries.
In 2019, Bahrain Chamber of Commerce and Industry celebrates its 18th anniversary of supporting the public and the private sector. We're very happy to have here today the chairman of Bahrain Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Samir Nas, to talk to us about the 18th Arab and Investors Conference. Welcome, thank you for being with us on Bahrain International.
Ahlan wa sahlan.
Okay, what is the importance of having such a large-scale conference in Bahrain?
Well, to put Bahrain in the map in this conference, and also showcase Bahrain. Bahrain is open for business. This is one ambition or one target of this conference. The other one is to make an awareness for the Arab countries as a whole that you guys are missing the train. It's a message. The fourth industrial revolution is already here and it's passing us, and we have to catch it up. We want to take an advantage, an opportunity in this Arab world to compete and develop the industry in the fourth industry. We have young, ambitious youth. Average age is less than 20 years old. Population is more than 400 million. There is huge market opportunity today that we can develop this kind of industry from us and for us. But the Middle East market is huge, but we need to take the initiative. And I think it should be a cooperation interwoven between governments, private sectors, and also all governments in the region. They have to standardize legalization and the infrastructures, be it legislative or education, has some kind of reformation has to take place to meet the requirement of this kind of industry. We're talking huge opportunities there, and we as consumers now in automation, the fourth industrial revolution is already here in the Middle East, but as a consumers, unfortunately, as distributors, but the actual market is somewhere else.
Do you think Bahrain can lead the change?
I think, yeah, why not? I think we already started doing some kind of infrastructure reform in both hardware infrastructure. When we talk about fiber optic cabling, we're talking about 5Gs and e-governments and some kind of and also there are incubators for fintechs and blockchains and all this. There are also the online banking, these through central banks, but we now looking at education reform for marketplace integration in this industry is underway, being done, which we feel being a small country, we can manage to do this thing at a small scale and do it very easily, and we become leaders in the market and sell our ideas to to other Arab countries. But still, the integration and standardization of these legalities, then you can create penetrations in the region for the population. That's important.
So if we talk about governmental entities and the public sector,
Yes.
can they start adopting disruptive technology? How do you think they can do that?
You know, I mean, I think online government, e-government, Bahrain is more the government is more advanced than the private sector these days, especially in this respect.
True.
Correct or not? I mean,
Yes.
for me, it's the private sector are far behind on this. For more than one reason. I mean, they don't have the financial capabilities to really invest big, you know. But I think with partnering, with looking at ideas in industries and automation that can really add value. You know, we always say capital is coward. Any capex or capital money is coward. They have to look at the opportunities. It has to have proper return. It has to have a short return, you know, a quick benefit. This is the basic, you know, buttons that really make the private sector act. And unfortunately, the region, the business community, the private sector, they are not patient like you know, our counterpart back in Europe and the West and the Far East. They those have a long patience for return and reaping benefit in any industry. This source innovation is something, you know, that takes a long time to get the return. Investments will be big at the beginning.
Needs patience.
And needs patience, needs
I
a lot of capital. That's why I think we need to change the mindset of our businessmen.
We have now entrepreneurs that have so many ideas. How does the chamber support them?
This is where, I mean, you see, like we can be a platform to bring in, you know, some people have short capital, good ideas with short capital, require big investments, but we can put businessmen together, investors, financiers. We can create companies under establishments, under the umbrella of the chamber. Maybe you notice today's you know, the video that took you back in time.
Yes, it
of
was
the
very
BCCI.
impressive.
You know, I mean, this video talks a story, you know, that dates back more than 100 years of the establishment of the BCCI, 2010 to be exact. The first establishment of, they call it the commerce, traders, what do you call it? Traders board. Traders board was the nucleus and the seed that what became today is called BCCI, by the way, in 2010. But National Bank of Bahrain was established by private businessmen between the wall and under the roof of BCCI. BBK the same. A lot of companies that you know today here, public companies, were established by BCCI. And you will be surprised. And I think we can do the same model in the fourth industrial revolution.
We want to create our own technology, but what are the threats? What are the opportunities as well?
Well, first of all, the threats and the opportunities. Okay, the opportunities. You see, we don't want to reinvent the wheel. Like as I said in my speech, we want to partner with successful businessmen or successful companies who already have technology. I'm talking about foreign companies. They come in, joint venture with us, set up factory bases. We don't mind to room with them, giving them high capital. We give them something. You know, these guys, they just want to make money. So what we do, like technology transfer within the region. Create research center, manufacture at Middle East level, and then build research center based, research and development centers based on this, right? And then, you know, you can gain knowledge and technology. Look at China. How did they gain their technology? They invited their friends from all over the world with their technology transfer because their saliva was running for the opportunity in getting the market size like China, that's the size of 1 billion people. So big giant companies went in there. This is how the industry started. I mean, flourished in China because they looked at $1 billion people marketplace. So all the giant players in industry, the likes of GM and other markets, I mean, even in industry, I mean, high-tech industry, IT industry, online shopping, they were lured into China to set up manufacturing because of the population there as a market. That's how they did it. And from there, they took their technology and developed it even further, right? And they became leaders and competitors and developers in the industry. You can be a hub for the Middle East region by way that the Middle East is open for you to accept you. That's why regulation has to take place. You know, you can say you can be a hub, but you have to be able to deliver that this is the hub can really deliver what we say. We don't want an investor coming in here and invest money and become a partner, and then he gets the shock that there are regulations in this country. You cannot sell, yes. You cannot sell in this country and that country and all that. So many obstacles.
Yes.
That might completely, show us we're not telling the truth. We have to be frank with people. That's why we have to work with our partners here at a local stage, that we standardize. Let them sell to us, we will sell to them.
Yes. Thank you very much. Mr. Samir Nas, Chairman of the Bahrain Chamber of Commerce and Industry. It was a pleasure to have you with us today.
The pleasure is all mine.